Welcome back. Today we have a video coming from the YouTube channel The Armed Fisherman. And this is another one. The cops got a call, but they messed this one up pretty bad.
2797.
Hold on. Make the hole slow.
Okay, I know.
Take the holster.
Just,
No, you can't take it out with the holster. Just slowly take it out.
Oh,
That's all I can.
Just relax.
All I can ask you is take it slowly.
All right, hold on.
It comes straight out.
Hold on. He's secure. He's
Just-
secure.
I'm
He's
not
secure.
gonna-
Hold on.
We just got to investigate this call. I get what you're doing. If you need to get cameras or whatever you got to do. No, we got cameras. Require you showing up. So if anything, look at the sanctuary, look at the CVS, because I previously was over on the CVS side, and then I came over here.
Okay.
And all I was doing was waving at traffic with this shirt, and I might have gave some people the bird. But I never waved my gun. My gun never came out of my holster.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you, but the call came. That's how the call came.
I get that. And that's why I'm not gonna sit here and resist you guys. I'm not fighting you guys.
I appreciate that.
You're just temporarily detained. Those who come off just as easy and go on.
But here's the problem. They were never supposed to go on according to the Supreme Court and according to Florida state law. But we'll jump into that shortly.
But real quick though.
Sir.
Do you have any identification?
I do, but I do not have to deliver it because I am not. I haven't broken the law.
Okay, so here.
Okay, hold on. I'm not. I'm gonna reach in my. I'm not. I'm gonna give you my.
Okay. So the state of Florida states that if you are
there's a concealed weapons and there's a Florida license.
Okay, that's fine. The state of Florida states that if you are to open carry and open display,
I get it.
Hold on a second. If you're going to open carry and open display, listen.
That's if I'm breaking the law.
No, even if you're not breaking the law,
okay,
you have to possess these with you,
and I did, and nobody
give them.
asked me.
Nobody
asked me for that.
Let me finish and give them upon demand of request.
And
it doesn't
nobody
matter
asked
if you could just be walking down the road and we ask, and then you're supposed to have. It doesn't matter if you could just be walking down the road and we ask, and then you're supposed to have.
Florida is not a show ID on demand just for open carry state. Florida follows a stop and identify rule tied to suspicion, not random checks. Under Florida statute 901.151, a statute that every Floridian should know, police must have reasonable suspicion of a crime. Only then they can legally detain you and require ID. Just having a firearm visible by itself is not a crime. So it does not automatically give them grounds to demand ID. And if you think that's bad, keep watching and keep listening.
So that's all. That's all.
I'm not going anywhere.
That's all. Okay. So
and when you asked for it, I was like,
you
hey.
presume,
And I was like,
you're
hey.
fine. You're fine. You're totally fine. As long as you have them, you're totally fine. All right? So just give me 1 second. But again, my partner explained to you the reason why, because people were driving by.
They said what he said.
Right.
I was waiting.
Right. That you were waving it. Now, if those come back.
My gun was in my holster the entire time.
Okay. We just have to investigate. That's all.
Have you ever heard of the guy that walks around with an AR-15 while fishing?
All the time.
You're looking at the guy that's in handcuffs right now. Where's my phone? I'm not gonna do anything with it.
Yeah, he can have it. He can have his phone. He can have his
Like I said, I'm not gonna resist. I just want. Yep.
Southwest 1, 5435 US 1. Here, he called in.
And I'm being detained because of what?
Because of the call for service stating that you were actually out waving the gun.
Okay.
Not that you were just walking with it, you were waving.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why.
And there is Supreme Court rulings that state that's just not enough to detain because you got a call. But we'll get to that later.
Like I said,
That's it. But we don't know that, and that's why we're here.
and if you want to look at whatever cameras you got to look at whatever you. But I know I never. My gun never left my holster.
You're totally fine. You have your ID, right?
Yep.
You're totally legal to be able to carry, open carry.
Yep.
You presented your ID when I asked for it. You presented your CCW when I asked for it.
Yep.
So as far as that go, you're all clear on that.
Right.
You're good to go.
Right.
Okay? We're just trying to figure out the whole incident and whether or not
all the
right. The
person
complainant.
that,
we're going to go through those
PR?
steps as well.
The person that responded or the person that called.
Right.
What is it? It's called a PR person or something?
No, complainant.
Or complainant, whatever.
That's all. Yeah.
Call them back and say, did you actually see him with his gun out the
And
holster?
we're just telling you how it got dispatched to us.
I get it.
That's all. We don't know until we get here.
And guess what? The armed fisherman that has a YouTube channel of 230-something thousand would not fucking do what said person is saying.
But you got to understand.
I understand.
Our point of view. We don't know, and I've never met you. She's never met you. We don't know.
But y'all have heard of me.
No.
Yes.
No. We've heard of a person, but I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm saying. You now are meeting that person.
Right. We didn't know.
I wouldn't. And like I said, it's not that I'm willing to give up all my information.
Yeah.
At the same time, I still have rights.
No, you absolutely do.
You know, and that was the thing about this is that I didn't do anything wrong. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to fight this.
Right. But
Why?
we don't
I
know
understand
that. That's all. It's just two difference of information.
I get it.
You know what you're doing. We know what we were sent here for.
I know what I'm doing, and I know why I'm here.
Right.
I was just out here just to friggin' stand here on the sidewalk waving at friggin'. I was just waving at the cars driving by.
People have their own interpretation.
I get it.
Sometimes it comes into us differently. We don't know until we get here and we do an
How's it
investigation.
going, though? Like I said, I'm not out here trying to stir up trouble or nothing. I was sitting out here just.
And like I said, brother, we don't know that until we get here. Some people have different views on what a waving is versus a flicking off versus but we don't know.
Like
They call 911, we got to respond.
It's definitely
And that-
different
I mean,
than just.
Yeah, sure, you guys have to respond.
We have to respond, and we got to do. And then once we figure out what we got, and for our own safety, until we know
I
we
get it.
got, we're going to temporarily detain. We're within our
Just as
legal
quick
right
as
to
they-
be able to do
just
that.
as-
And then once we figure out what we got, and for our own safety, until we know
I
we
get it.
got, we're going to temporarily detain. We're within our
Just as
legal
quick
right
as
to be
they-
able to do
just
that.
as-
And this is the problem we have in policing today. This cop literally thinks he has the right to detain you for officer safety until he finds out if there's been a crime committed. When in reality, the law literally says the opposite.
As quick as they went on, they
And
come
then
off just as.
That's exactly right. As soon as we determine whether or not there actually is a crime or not, they immediately come off just like I just did.
Yeah.
And that's,
like I said,
that's why it's called temporary.
100% know, as long as I don't break the law.
Right, but when you're,
When I'm on bond, as long as I don't break the law, I'm allowed to do whatever I want. I'm free to do whatever I want as long as I don't break the law.
to a certain extent, there's still provisions while you're out on
No,
bond.
there's no provisions. The only provision is I'll pull it up right now.
There's always got to be a camera rolling, so he's turning his off, mine stays on.
Yep. But
You guys are, I'm sure you guys are recording too, right?
absolutely, it's been on since we got here.
All right.
Yeah, you can just pull it up real quick.
Nobody's picking up 54. He's good. But he is on probation. So,
Yeah, Cuddy's not answering.
nobody. Cuddy, Clark, or Grant. I called Cuddy like 4 times. They're on that pedestrian versus vehicle, so that's
Okay.
why.
He's just gonna pull up his score. Hold on a second.
Only on bond.
We are only relaying the information that we're given.
Clerk. Let's see.
Pass the law. You know, we get open carries all the time. Actually, I'm a fan of it. I don't have a problem with it. At least I can see it. I know where it's at. So that's not the issue. The issue was the allegations of him waiving it.
Yeah.
That's
I heard what you said. For your safety, you wanted to just temporarily until you figure out the end of your investigation.
That's it.
I thought it was like you had to finish your investigation first and make a determination at that point.
No, officer safety is always, because of the Supreme Court ruling, our officer safety is always going to be first, and then we can conduct our investigation. But the moment we determine that a crime isn't committed, then we can go ahead and just, okay, it's fine, take him out of handcuffs, and that's that.
So the Supreme Court ruling you're referring to is
in the back pocket.
And as long as you stay cooperative the way that you are, you're going to get this type of result every single time. Because we're well educated on the law. We understand what is right, what we can and we can't do. And in this case here, you're perfectly legal to walk around and carry it. You're good to go.
That was complete BS. I want to point out two things that this cop just said.
No, officer safety is always, because of the Supreme Court ruling, our officer safety is always going to be first, and then we can conduct our investigation. But the moment we determine that a crime isn't committed, then we can go ahead and just, okay, it's fine, take him out of handcuffs.
So the question is, what Supreme Court ruling is he referring to? Because I'm unaware. The next stupid thing he said was this.
You're going to get this type of result every single time. Because we're well educated on the law. Because we're well educated on the law. We understand what is right, what we can and we can't do.
Florida versus JL. A quick breakdown. The situation. Police got an anonymous tip. The caller said a young black male in a plaid shirt had a gun. Officers went, saw the guy, and stopped and frisked him. What the Supreme Court said about it? That was unconstitutional. The rule and why it matters. An anonymous tip alone without more is not enough to justify a stop, a detention, or a frisk. Why? Because the tip had no proven reliability, gave no predictive information, and could not be verified before the stop. So someone simply calling the cops is not enough. As the Supreme Court said, this could not be verified before the stop. And we heard this cop say several times, we show up, we detain first, we figure out later. That's the complete opposite of what the court said. And then you hear this cop talking about he's well educated in the law. But every law that we've seen during this encounter was the opposite of what this cop was actually doing. Sad part is he's a law enforcement officer. And like I always say, law enforcement officers do not know the laws they're supposed to be enforcing. This is policing in America. The guys who are chosen and the women who are chosen to enforce the laws have no clue what the laws actually say. Know your rights, protect yourself, and stay safe. With that being said, we the people, you, signing off.